Hi homies, welcome to episode 2 of our Create series, Logistics and Movement. This is the second time I had to record this video, unfortunately, so it's coming out a little later than it should have. So let's get our engineer goggles and our wrench, and let's get into it. So, I know we went over belts in the last episode, but I'm just going to cover them some more here. We have some of the forms of connections you can do. If you want a T intersection, you just gotta run one belt into another one, because you don't got any special intersection for that. But I'm just showing y'all. And now this looks like it shouldn't work here because the belt's like going vertical on the halfway point, but it does. Now, something cool you can do with the belts is that if you want to organize them better, you can use dies on them. Works with any dies. It's very, very cool. Doesn't even consume the die color, which is nice. Another thing you can do with the belts is that if you hold a wrench, or have a wrench, and you just kind of click on one of the ends, you can make the belt smaller. Or if you click with the belt, you can make the belt longer without actually consuming any of the mechanical belts in your hotbar. Also, I've learned in the first recording that if you like click on the belt here, you do whatever that is. I don't know what this is, but if it's supposed to. I think it might be a bug, but shit, clicking on the belt just instantly breaks it. We'll get into whatever this is later. Or not even later, just in a bit. Over here we have some... Actually, we'll get to those in a bit. More belt stuff. So, there's actually many ways to input onto a belt rather than just throwing your items. Example, you can use hoppers, both on the side and below, to input and output from from a belt. You can use chutes to input into a belt and output. You can also use funnels to actually, if I can show you this, they also work on the vertical axis and on vertical, yeah, upside down and right side up. So if I can actually get, I don't think I need to show y'all. Y'all will believe me. Also note, actually hold on, let me clear the weather real quick. The brass funnels, yeah, they can output more than just one item at a time, unlike andesite. You can actually configure this, but we'll get into that to control. Also, I don't know to show this in the last video, but you can click on the funnels to extend them into a full block. And now let's go over to the tunnels. The tunnels look a lot differently than... Well, like the tunnels are very interesting. So the thing with the crate mod is andesite stuff will always be worse than brass. So there's a brass and andesite version of the same object, like tunnels, funnels. Then they'll probably be the andesite will be worse. Even the chute has a brass version called the smart chute, and that's better than the chute, but that's for control. Brass gives you more control over your factory, because it's fancy and expensive. That's why it's late game. Actually, so for tunnels at least, brass is the best used over andesite, because they do very different things. Example. I throw a full stack into this tunnel, it will try to split evenly between all the belts that are connected to the tunnel. However, this the way it splits can be changed up here from split to round robin. But we'll get over that in the control video, I think. You can only do this with the brass funnel, because you can't. Brass funnel, because you can't do this with the andesite. See, it doesn't connect on the top like the brass does. As you see. You can also make connections like this, where you split belts off to the sides, and then it randomizes which end to put. Now, you can also do this with the andesite tunnel, but it works a little differently. You only split one off a stack, so you have a stack of 64, and out here goes the stake, one stake, and this goes to the other 63. Go back over here. They also can be tunnels. Wow, it's very, very cool. And you can also do this with the brass. Yeah, you can also do it with the brass. But the brass gives you a nice little window instead of the little bars. I'll be using the stakes as a test thing for most of this video. Put that away. Let's go over to this fancy contraption over here. This is actually one of the newest ways to move your arms about. It's called the chain conveyor, if you couldn't already see the chains. But you can also transport yourself around on the chain conveyor. You click on it with a wrench and you can just go about as long as you don't hit anything. You can actually even control your own motion at like a T intersection. So let's say I wanted to go up here. I just hold it around and I go right. Oh, not like I use A and D. So if I'm going to hold D here, and I'll go to this way. And if I hold A here, I'll go. No, I'll go straight, huh? But that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is actually to transport packages. I'll show you. Get a little frog port. Yeah, get a little frog port and a packager. And you make sure it's connected, because let me show you. If you just place it like that, you place it like this. Oh, wait. You gotta make sure it has that little connector there. I wonder, does it work on the top? Oh, it does. That's cool. Anyways, you get a little package here. You can pick them up. You can open them. But you can also, you can pluck them off belts. You can put them on belts. I'm pretty sure you can also throw them? Oh, yeah, there you go. You can put them down, and I'm pretty sure you can, yeah, throw them. You gotta hold it. Oh, yeah, you gotta charge it like a bow, and you can chuck the package. Very fun. But this has more to it. You can get a little more complex. Also, thing to note with the packagers, it's very important to make sure they're powered, or else they won't package. Example, I'll throw some food in there and it doesn't package because it's not powered. But this one is. Yeah. I'll show you the more complex version of this chain conveyor frog put thing. But first, mechanical arms. Actually, why am I covering the mechanical arms now? We'll get over there in a second. Mechanical arms allows you to transport items from either a belt, depot, chute, or funnels, and maybe even tunnels. And then it lets you put them on other things. The faster you're towing it, the faster it goes. You can see. Let me get some stakes here. You can even randomize outputs. You can change it to round robin, force round robin, or prefer force target. That's more in the control video. But you see here, it will randomize which outputs I put it on to. I'll take this one real quick and I can show you. You can click on a lot of things with it. So we can select the hop, the shoot. It's a right click. Right click once for if you to change it between. Right click once on unselect it, and then you right click it again to change it to deposit or to take, and then you left click to deselect. So you can take belts. You can take from belts, deposit the belts. Take from chutes. Let me taste it. Can you take? You can't take from tunnels. Never mind. I'm just crazy. But you can't take from. But take from. You can take from. You can deposit to funnels. It's very helpful for like automatically fueling your blaze bonus because you can deposit into blaze bonus. Over here we have the iron vault. Yeah, that's what iron vault. This is basically your bulk storage. One block of an iron vault is like multiple chests. I don't know the exact factor of how many chests are in one iron vault, but something you can't do with the iron vault is manually put items into it. You need an interface like either the iron hatch. You can use the iron hatch to put puzzle items in, hoppers and chutes to deposit and take items out, and then funnels to take deposit items out. Now, you can also use the packagers to take items out, which allows you to make a system like this, which I'll have editing. I'll actually explain it real quick. So, we'll just show you. I'll show you. I had this all set up from the original recording of this, but unfortunately that was ruined. Have to manually mine. So what you need is any mob you can get into a seat, preferably one you can lead, because you can just click. If you have a lead, if you have an animal to lead it, you can click on the seat to manually put them in there. I'll show you. Get B off, and put them back on there. Step 1, you get your iron vault. Oh yeah, if you have enough iron vaults and you want to expand it, you can just click on here and use them all up to do that. Get your passenger. Get your stock ticker. This is very important. You'll link your stock ticker, and you make sure you put it onto the your outputting. Then you get a chain conveyor set up. You could also use normal conveyors, but chain conveyors work better because they travel in both directions. So if you want to be able to send things back into your iron vault from a different frog port, you can do that. We'll have this one being the power. And then we should be able to... There we go. Crank this up because I want it to be fast. Maybe 256 is too fast. We get another passenger. Barrel, passenger, fog. Put it here. Name it because we can actually have multiple fog ports on one thing. So we can address them. I'll show that over there in a second. And we put one here. And now we can actually get to put something in there. So let's let me go get an item hatch. Let me go steal the item hatch from over here so I can dump some steak in there. Don't mind my dog in the background if you can hear him. We dump all that in there, and we should be able to look in here. And there's a steak. We can either scroll it. If you scroll it, normally you can do one at a time. But if you can hold control, you scroll in things of tens. And now we want to address it to our frog port we have named over here. We'll actually grab this off and you can see it has the address. Put back on there. Goes around and then the frog eats it. And then goes back in. And now it's no longer in the system. But if we hook this back up, it's now part of the system and we can send it back to the storage either via address, or since this one's unaddressed, it'll just eat any package it sees with no address here. Now over here we have 2 addresses, and I'll just quickly demonstrate that you can actually do you see here, we put this around, goes around, and it's not addressed to call 2, so it won't be eaten. But since it's addressed to call 1, we'll get the package. And then put a steak back. Actually, give me my steak back. Over here we have the Redstone requester, and this allows you to automatically request or automatically send packages to frogs. Well, you can automatically address your packages and have them sent out. So it's great for automation, which you're gonna hook up with the factory things or whatever. Factory gauge. That's for next episode of control. That's where the automation goes deep. We'll get to that later. Back to over to our more logistics. Chutes can serve 2 purposes. The obvious one is sending things downwards, but if you combine it with the mechanical fan, you can actually send stuff upwards. Look. You can see our stick is getting blown upwards. It's a helpful little trick to know, because this can be very useful for vertical movement. The fluid tank is the bulk storage alternative to the iron vault for fluids. Obviously, for a note, you can only place iron vaults sideways and fluid tanks vertically. Although there is add-ons that gives you sideways fluid tanks and vertical fluid vaults. Anyways, fluid tanks allows you to cleanly store fluid. You can see like this. You can transport fluid with the fluid pipes and pumps. Actually, you can click on your fluid tanks to hide or show glass. Similarly with the pipes. Pipes and you can't. Your pipe, every pipe system needs a pump. It's like every every X amount of blocks, which can be configured in these settings. Interesting about the fluid pipes is that you can actually directly pull fluid from a source, and you can also directly pump a fluid into a block. Oh wait, I'm accidentally had that inverse. The little arrow here tells you what way the pump is pumping. So you see, we filled it up, and if he rewards it again, it will suck up that water block. But you all saw that in the last episode where I showed you how to make a steam engine. The fluid drain allows you to drain buckets or bottles. Buckets of fluid and bottles of potions, I think. Go potion of strength real quick. Oh, guess not. So it's crazy. But I do know you can actually wait, no, click on this. Yeah, no, I was right. You can just drain potions and get the liquid version. Hold on. I got a bucket of honey here. I'll show you real quick. I can either just click directly onto the fluid drain, and I need to borrow this cog real quick so I can pump it into the pump it into the pump it into the fluid container. Also, do know that the goggles do help you. Goggles do tell you the amount of storage and how much of that liquid you have in. Very helpful. And the spout over here lets you pull liquids into containers, like bottles for potions or buckets for other liquids. Or you can also glaze. You can glaze hold on. It's like a sugar bun, whatever it's called. You can glaze a bread, sweet roll. You can glaze bread with milk. Cut a glazed chocolate with glazed berries with chocolate, or make honeyed apples. You can also just throw your buckets over and they'll pour out like that. Speaking of that roll thing, fluid drains can be used as transportation, and you can roll items over it. No power needed. This is an alternative for belts in some situations. But, like, it's kind of less cool than having belts to move all your items over. Plus, you can't use it for fluids, because they'll just drain out. Unfortunately. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go Game of Creative real quick. I'm gonna show you off all the pulleys. This will be the start of our sections of movement. I'll make this slightly deeper real quick. And I'll get creative mode. And clutch. I need to go shift 2. No, I don't. The hose pulley allows you to fill and drain large bodies of fluid. So I'll pump. Well, let's just start. Oh. You see that here? We can fill. It'll fill everything up to the fluid hose. So if we wanted to, let's say, let's straighten this real quick. If we wanted it to fill up to the, well, I didn't mean to do that. I'm in Game of Creative still. Hold on. If we wanted to fill this 2-block well, or whatever we'll call it, with water, we want to be about there, yeah, and then we can just do this, and then it'll begin draining. Do note that if what you're trying to fill is too big, it won't properly do it. And now if we wanted to drain this, we can just do this. But it's the inverse of filling. So if you want to fill a large area with a fluid, you want to put your hose at the top block, and if you want to drain it, you want to get down to the bottom block. And now it'll drain everything. Note that if you're trying to drain a source too big, it will be considered an infinite lake of your fluid. So if you go into the nether, try to drain a giant lava lake. If you have one of these hose pulleys stuck at the bottom of it, it will probably be an infinite lava source. Great for fuel for your giant steam engines. Now, onto the rope pulley. This allows you to move contraptions and giant blocks. I'll show you real quick. If I crank this, we're gonna go up and stop when it receives no power. And then if I crank it the other way, it's gonna go down. You can also, while it's block facing, also climb the pulley rope. Now you might be saying, this would be a great way to make an elevator. And I'm gonna tell you, that's wrong. Because actually, we have an elevator pulley, which is much more better for this. And we'll go over here. You can scroll to choose your floor. So let's say I want to go to the top floor. I click that. Boom. I'll tell you right now the how fast you have input you're putting into this elevator pulley up there is how fast you'll be going. Now, editing Comet will go quickly put in a tutorial for how to do that. So I'll give him a second. Editing Comet here. So I'm gonna quickly go over how to. Let's disassemble this real quick. I'm gonna show you how to build an elevator. We are going to need this block, the redstone contact. I have an elevator pulley, and contraption controls. Cause this is what you saw over there, but this is the contraption controls are meant for the disabling contraptions on your contraption. Wow, great sentence. Anyways, to make an elevator, step 1, you need your platform. You're going to need some glue, because you make sure it's all connected. Get that. Glue together your little controls. You can get a door here, because the elevator can actually automatically open and close doors. You get yourself a redstone contact, one on the elevator, and then one on every floor you want it to go to. So I'll put one here at the ground floor. We'll put one here. One here. Make sure your elevator pulley has power. We click it. Why aren't you assembling? Oh, that's why. Okay, make sure it's connecting to a full block. There you go. Now that it's assembled, we give it some power. We can scroll here and go to our things, and now you see our door will open and close as we go between floors. Cool thing about these little redstone contacts that become a different texture because they're now elevator contacts. If we power one with a button of some sort, or any other redstone film, we can actually call the elevator down and actually come into here, change how the doors open, give it a name. So let's call this ground floor. You can give it. We also even change the number, and you can actually these little elevator contacts also give off a redstone pulse if we when the elevator's there, as you can see. So you can hook this up to like a little ding or whatever that happens when you elevator arrives. Anyways, back to comment from the recording. Alright, hopefully I do edit that in. I did the last one before I realized that the footage was until we lost all the footage for that one. Now, it's time for some more contraptions. The mechanical bearing allows you to spin anything you have glued on top of it. And you might be asking, what kind of glue? And if you go to so you just look up super glue, you can use this stuff. It's basically slime blocks, but better. You can just click two edge surfaces, and you'll glue it. Works in 3D space too. You right click the glue, and then you left click a selection to delete it. You want to make sure your stuff is glued, or else it might not go along with the contraption. So if I just unglue all that, everything else does a spin. Unless you're using like radial, like these chassis. If I delete the block real quick, or break the block. Oh wait, I forgot. You gotta use glue. Give yourself some. You gotta make it sticky. So if you slime it, you break your blocks. It will now spin. And there's actually quite a few forms of chassis, but this is the this is not. They're not exactly integral, I guess. Actually, I'll just go show you real quick. Chassis. There is radial chassis, linear chassis, and I don't know what the secondary linear chassis does, but this one is like. Do I have my goggles back on? This is like the same thing, but you can just do all this, and then hold on. You gotta make sure you. Gotta make sure you do this, and then when you spin this, it should spin everything. There we go. Let's go over here to the turntable. All of this does is like spin entities, like yourself. Don't get motion sickness on that. Don't give yourself motion sickness. Next over here we have the gantry carriage and the gantry carriage and gantry shaft. This allows you to the gantry shaft allows you to move the gantry carriage up and down or back and up and down or back and forth. The gantry carriage has a shaft running through it, so you can power it whenever it's stopped. Also to note that whenever these things assemble into that moving thing, it's considered a contraption. Contraptions power drills, saws, deployers, and and mechanical harvesters. Also, I think it also spins what's it called? No, wait, never mind. I'll say. Oh, over there. We'll get to that there. That we also spin these things, but we'll get to that into the miscellaneous episode. You can see these do hurt you, by the way, when it's moving. So don't walk into your tree farm with a bunch of spinning saws and then you get chopped in half. It's truly unfortunate. If you go back over here, we have mechanical pistons, which are like normal pistons, but you need rotational force. And you can make them longer with the piston extensions. Every extension pole gives you 1 block of range. And we have the sticky and regular variants. Sticky will stick to the block in front of it, and obviously the regular won't. You can also use. I have glue holding this up. That's why they're all moving together. The piston push limit on these things are like very. Oh, give me a second. It has an increased piston push limit. It's way past 12. I'm pretty sure you can configure it to be bigger, but I don't know the exact limit. But it should be high enough that you shouldn't have to worry about it. Over here we have the minecart assembler, which allows you to put contraptions on minecarts. You can also change how. Oh, shoot. Let me just do something real quick. Whenever a contraption is glued to this, we go glued together on top, or you using those chassis. If you power this and the minecart goes underneath it, it will snap to the minecart. And now, I do have it set to not rotate, but normally it will be, it will always face to forwards motion. Ouch. So you can, like, make a tunnel board with this by strapping a bunch of drills on the front and have it auto-place its own tracks. That's... Okay, I'm being pushed. I'm gonna split my spawn point real quick, but we're gonna get over to the final creation, final transportation thing for today. Trains. They allow you to transport fluid items and they have fluid and items on it, and also technically mobs if you use a bunch of seats. But I'm gonna stay on the tracks real quick because the trains actually can run you. Excuse me, what the actual freak? You're supposed to run me over. Guys, I promise I'm not lying. There you go. The trains do hurt you if they run you over. I actually stop this train real quick. Shoot. I have this entire train automated by once again a bee. See, I got a train schedule, and you set between stations, as you see right here. Whenever you have a train assembled, because they start out disassembled, and when you assemble your train, they can connect to these things called portable storage interfaces. We have one for fluids and items. When you have a interface on either a contraption, doesn't have to be a train, could be like one of those radial things like you saw over there. Whenever it reaches, or whenever it's connected to there, it will empty out. I'll either input or empty items or fluids, and empty or input them for a set amount of time. It will try to empty empty all items, I think, on the radio thing. On the radio thing, so it'll try to empty all items or input all. You don't really input items onto like spinning farms. So they're usually used for tree farms or crop farms. Interesting though, if he gives himself some packages, and we go over to Station B, we can actually send some packages over. So let's add the place for Station B. I get power in. And give me some of these. And then for this other thing, you can't just click a block in there, and then it doesn't actually take your blocks out of your inventories. Anyways, we throw all these packages into the mailbox, and it'll be auto loaded onto the train. Either if you have an item vault, which I have stored in here, or if you don't have an item vault, it'll actually put the packages on the little item depots. Well, I guess in this case, any items you try to put input to the train will be put into either storage or item vaults. You can see there. And move, Mr. B. I'm stealing your position as train driver. And we pull up to Station B real quick, and you can see that little green particle. So that means our packages were delivered. It's pretty cool. Now, if you're wondering why I had charcoal in here, that's because if we just quickly drive the train a bit, you can actually fuel the trains for it to go faster. I don't know if it's noticeable here, but now we throw some fuel into a storage block. I think it has to be on the main engine. But we pull it in there, and now we should be going faster. If I hold D real quick, we'll take the through path. And by now we're approaching from the wrong side. As you see, we can't pull up to the station because we're going from the wrong direction that is the arrow. And it appears that you can actually rent your trains to re-rail them if they derail or turn them around. So now we should be going to the right direction, and now we can pull into our other station. And I'll quickly demonstrate by letting our trains load up. I'll put some stake here. Let's see. Okay, never mind. They load up into this car because we have storage diamond thing. And now if we pull over to this station, we will deposit our stake, and I'll quickly reset our honey gear. As you can see, we're now pumping honey from this tanker car back into here. And now, editing Comet, quickly go show the train tutorial again. Editing Comet again. It's time to speedrun showing you how to make a train. So first up, you want to get a train casing, train track, and a train station. Train controls and a seat will be also helpful. So delete all this. Train tracks can, I'm not going to delete all the tracks, but basically you can place them either normally, or you can click one track, place like that. This is how you make curves, by the way. So you can just click between two pre-existing tracks to fill the gap, although there is a range limit on how far you can extend your tracks out to. You'll see there. Anyways, hover over a track, make sure you get this little arrow that shows you which way your train can pull into the station from. Do this. Yeah, you right click on the track, place in your block, create train. You can also change the station name. You create your train, then you'll get this little glowy thing. Click down your train casing, and then you get a bogie. Click here on here again. You can get the bigger bogie. Get our seats here. Or get your train controls here. This is lets you actually control the train. Get yourself some glue, because you need this to make sure everything is connected. That's actually a horrible glue job. There we go. Glue. Plus that. And now your train's assembled. And we disassemble the train again, because we now can give it some carriages too. I don't care, this is not all the same size. Assemble this. Now you have them connected. Thing to note, every carriage can only have only two bogies per carriage. Also failed to assemble, unfortunately. Anyways, back to Comet from the recording so you can finish up this episode. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below if I missed anything or wasn't clear on anything else. And like always, I'll see you next one. Bye!